over the weekend, Cherry Hills in Colorado, Nick Dunlap, a 19-year-old at the University of Alabama, made history when he defeated Ohio State senior Neil Shipley 4-3 in the 36-hole final of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Becomes just the second player ever to win both the U.S. Junior and the U.S. Amateur, joining one Tiger Woods. This tweet from our Brentley Romine. Nick began his 123rd U.S. Amateur by playing a wrong ball on his third hole, putting his fifth hole, and being 5 over through 7. That's when his caddy wrote this on the 8th hole of Dunlap's yardage book. This can be an amazing story if you let go and let it happen. That's exactly what Nick did, and this is what he received: the gold medal, custody of the Havermeyer Trophy for 1 year, exemption into the 2024 U.S. Open at Pinehurst, exemption into Royal Troon, the Open, likely invitation into the Masters, exemption from qualifying for the next 10 U.S. Amateurs. And Nick joins us now. 5 over through 7. How did you turn it around?
First of all, I appreciate you guys having me, but yeah, it's just one of those wild starts. You know, I've been playing pretty solid all summer, and to kind of start a golf tournament off like that, you know, you hit a wrong ball, and you know, I'm one of the first pairings off, hit a wrong ball, 4-putt, make a sloppy bogey on the 7th hole, and you know, before you know it, it's not like you have 4 rounds to catch back up in this USAM. You know, you have 2 rounds, and you know, 320 of the best amateurs in the world. You got to be in the top 64. And kudos to Jeff, you know, for keeping me in there. Didn't have much time to turn it around, and you know, that little note he wrote me on the 8th helped a ton. Was able to kind of settle down, birdie the 8th, birdie the 9th, and honestly, you know, just trying to give myself a chance come Tuesday evening on the back 9 to have a chance to make match play.
At what point did you start to believe after that slow start, not only that you could make match play, but hey, I can go on a run and win this thing?
I just knew if I could just settle down a little bit. You know, when you have one of those starts, all you see is red. You know, your head's spinning. You know, you start to lose a little bit of belief. You know, when you're 5 over through 7, I didn't look, but pretty close to last, I would imagine. And, you know, got it back. I birdied 8, 9. I think I birdied 2 more or 3 holes in a row on the back to get it back to even par. And, you know, from there, it's like, okay, well, all I have to do is make, you know, 1 or 2 more birdies and we're in match play. And, you know, for that, you know, the top 64, you don't have to finish first. You just have to, you know, figure out a way to get inside that top 64 and, you know, move on to match play. You never know what can happen from there.
Well, Nick, you knew going into the U.S. Am that there was only one other guy to win the U.S. Junior and the U.S. Am. His name is Tiger Woods, I believe. How did you handle that weighted history?
It's hard. You know, I've talked a lot with Brett McCabe. He's, you know, a sports psychologist out of Birmingham. He's helped me a ton over the years, and especially last week. But, you know, I think in the past, I've tried to just, you know, push all those thoughts away and act like they weren't there. And, you know, this week, you know, we talked about just embracing the pressure, embracing what the United States Amateur stood for, you know, the exemptions that came with it. And, you know, obviously it's the PGA Tour Accelerate and the PGAU Talk. And you just embrace it all, embrace the crowd, embrace, you know, Cherry Hills and all the history there, and, you know, enjoy the week and, you know, add them all up at the end.
Jeff Curl obviously was on the back. He knows you really well from when you were a little kid, first starting to play the game, and he's had some bold predictions going forward. And I know you're familiar with what he said, that by 25, you're going to be #1 in the world. When you hear that, what do you think?
Man, me and Jeff go way back. You know, for whatever reason, he predicted that I was going to do something like this when I was about 12 years old. I don't know exactly what he saw in me. I've had kind of the same work ethic when I was about 12 and 13. And, you know, I think there's pictures of me hitting balls and, you know, in the rain and at night and stuff like that. But Jeff's been there every step of the way. He's been a huge help for me, you know, growing up. I was fortunate enough to play at a pretty cool group at Greystone and, you know, with a lot of pros, including, you know, Sepp Straka and Lee Hodges and Michael Johnson, and, you know, the group goes on. And to grow up learning from them and, you know, kind of having Jeff take me under his wing and really shown me, you know, all I know about golf. It's helped me. And, you know, I just kind of take the mindset of if I can beat these guys, you know, especially Sepp and Lee, who's, you know, playing really well, winning on tour, competing in majors, that it's just given me that much more confidence, you know, competing in the tournaments that I'm playing in now.
Nick, you're saying Jeff saw something when you were 12. I have an idea, Damon, looking at his Alabama bio.
Yeah.
He shot 59 at Highland Golf Club in Birmingham, June of 2016. That was going into 7th grade. So sneaking suspicion when you're breaking 60 at that age, maybe he saw some potential in you.
No, absolutely. And like I said, it's been a cool ride. You know, I grew up playing a lot of sports, and golf kind of became, you know, secondary or almost third. And I moved to Greenville, South Carolina, and that's kind of when golf became a main priority for me. And you know, moved away from Jeff, and you know, I think honestly, moving away from, you know, from a city like Birmingham and from all my friends, you kind of find out, you know, who your closest people are. And you know, Jeff never left my side. He was there for me, you know, through the ups and downs, and you know, just to go through some of my accomplishments and some of my dreams with him right next to me has been, you know, something really special, and you know, something that neither of us are ever going to forget.
Nick, what's the coolest thing that's happened to you since you won?
I've got some pretty cool text messages. Coach Saban called me right after I won. I was in the USGA little headquarters room, and you know, to get that phone call from him was pretty cool. Gotten fairly close with him over the past couple months here at Bama. He's kind of a golfaholic, you could say. He plays and practices a ton. And Coach Mike Shanahan called me. Actually, we had our little celebratory dinner at his restaurant in Denver, and I got a couple texts from JT, and it's been so surreal. I don't think it's quite set in yet. And, you know, I've talked to a couple buddies that just the fact that I have, you know, St. Andrews here and next week, and Augusta and Royal Tree on the same schedule as a 19-year-old kid is absolutely unbelievable.
It's what dreams are made of. I mean, now that you have a direct line to Coach Saban, any chance for any, you know, Alabama night games this fall? We may see you on the sidelines there.
Actually, I think I'll be on the field on the Texas game here shortly, which will be pretty cool in between the first and second quarter. But I think it's actually our first time hosting Texas, and yeah, that game's gonna be pretty rowdy. It'll be my first home game this year. I'm gonna miss I think we're playing Middle Tennessee at home, week 1. I'll be in Scotland, but no, I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it ever since it ended last year. There's nothing like SEC football, and you know, Brian Denny at 7 o'clock against some big time schools and some SEC schools. There's nothing like it.
Just hits different, doesn't it, Dan?
Alabama's a football school, but it's a golf school.
It really is.
As well, clearly. Hey, Nick, congratulations. Well done. Thanks for the time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me.